James Sykes, CEO of Baselode Energy Corp. We're exploring for uranium in the Athabasca Basin area of Northern Saskatchewan, home to the highest grades of uranium in the world. And we're very fortunate that we've got some of the shallowest uranium in the world at our Accio Discovery. And we've just launched a 10,000 meter drill program. We're planning to get going on a 10,000 meter drill program, hopefully expanding on our Accio drill results, but also some additional discoveries on the horizon. Fingers are crossed. So I'll pass it off to Merlin and we'll get into the nitty gritty of it all.
James, good to see you again. Thank you for the introduction. You've just done a capital raise. When I last spoke to you in March, a couple of months ago, you had about $8 million on the balance sheet. You've just raised another $4 million. So you're cashed up. I think in that last call, you spoke about needing $5 million for the summer program on the Accio and Hook projects altogether. Is that still the case? And is that are you now kind of fully funded for the rest of the year?
Fully funded for the rest of the year, for sure. Raise is awesome. We did close our tranche 1, $4.4 million. We're still looking at closing 2. We think we're pretty confident that we can get the full subscription filled, hopefully even oversubscribed. But this is the right time to get into a project like Accio, into a company like Baselode. The market is hot and it's going to be hot for uranium. But fully cashed up. We're expecting our all-in drill cost to be around $500 a meter. That's everything included. Worst case scenario, $600. And by the end of the raise, we'll have $7 million flow through for deployment by the end of next year. $5 to $6 million for Accio and for Hook leaves us with another $1 million that we're even looking at to save for a restart for next year. We know we've got other work to do on Hook, on Accio. Environmental studies, we've got to start thinking about geotechnical studies. So we will have that $1 million in reserve, but we've also got airborne geophysical surveys that we want to do on some of the other projects.
Just coming back to the tranche 1, tranche 2, that 4.4, is that the hard money element and you're waiting for the flow through to come through, or
all flow through? All flow through.
So what is tranche 2 and what size is that?
We'll have that released when we do. And as mentioned, while we're open in tranche 3, we'll just take up the remainder.
What kind of quantum are you looking at? I know you can't give me what you're expecting, but have you announced what you're looking to raise?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, $5 million.
Okay.
It's a $5 million raise, and we're looking to raise $5 million. If we do oversubscription, I think that just speaks very highly of the company, the asset, and the uranium market looking forward.
And you've got 4.4 kind of bagged.
Yes, with the 2 in tow from previous financing, we're at 6.5. So at that worst case scenario where this project costs us $600 a meter all in, then we are budgeted for that.
Okay.
So yeah, fully funded. Very happy. Can't wait. Accio is an exciting play.
Who did you go to for that? What kind of money is it that's kind of subscribed to the tranche 1?
A lot of funds. We've had a lot of funds come in through Red Cloud, as they were the lead on the financing. Sprott came in for a nice healthy dose. Very happy to have Sprott behind us.
Existing shareholders?
Yes, a lot of existing shareholders, repeat shareholders.
And any new? Because in a sense, it's kind of be quite interesting to see the split between existing and new.
Yeah, no, there definitely are some new. There are quite a few new retail people, and because of the new tax incentives in Saskatchewan as part of the whole critical mineral strategy, flow-through shareholders get 60% premium on a flow-through share. So the tax premium there. So it's very beneficial for them to take advantage of flow-through shares, and we've seen a lot of Saskatchewan retail investors come into this placement. I think it's the highest I've seen. So it's nice to see Saskatchewan investors backing a Saskatchewan asset.
You mentioned that the market was hot, which is not what we're seeing in the share prices of junior companies.
You're right. Share prices don't dictate that the market is hot, but the market is hot. The market is very hot, and This is a great place for any investor to get into the uranium play is now. Now is the bottom. And the news has been written over the past few weeks. Cameco saying they've got 250 million pounds contract. That's not a small number. That's a huge number. Now, because Kazatomprom, they've got their coils, and those are not small numbers either. There's a huge demand on the horizon, and there's not enough supply out there. So there's that big supply demand imbalance, and I can't say it would take off for sure. The run that we saw in 2021, that was all the Sprott physical uranium buying. They drove that price up by purchasing X amount of pounds. Now that they've kind of leveled off, spot price has leveled off as well. But once that demand keeps going and the physical uranium's taken off the market, we will see that price of uranium increase. Previous producers probably need $70-$80 a pound USD. So there's incentive for that price, that spot price. Obviously it's the contract price that we want to follow, but that spot price will follow. And if it hits 70, 80, 60 even.
There are two things here. One is that when the uranium market, when the equities ran 2 or 3 years ago, they were pricing in, it was almost as if the equities were already pricing in kind of 70, 80, maybe even $100, because all the valuations just kind of went up 3, 4, 5 times. And the spot price, thanks to the physical buying of the ETFs, kind of went from 25 gradually up through to 50, and it's been there for a year or so, 18 months. It really hasn't moved. Interestingly, just in the last week, just in the last day or two, it's popped up from 49 about 3 or 4 days ago or a week ago to 54 now. And is that what you're talking about? Is that your kind of the return of utility buying?
Yes. Yep. Utilities have to start buying. It's getting to that time frame.
And when do you think you can never... sorry, that's a stupid question. One can never know. Yeah, I know. But coming back to last year, when you in the autumn after you'd been drilling at Accio, we spoke and you said you were stopping drilling because the market doesn't care about further exploration results. It's kind of it's gone off the boil. It was a soft market, and you paused, and here we are again. You're picking up your exploration activities again. You've raised some money. You're going to do a 10,000 meter drill program, and the share price suggests that the market still doesn't really care about exploration results. But you're going again.
Yeah, we have to. We love Accio so much, and we think that it is quite feasible scenario to be an economic mine throughout its longevity, that it needs to be advanced. If that window is open now, then we need to take advantage of it now. There's I go back to Cameco about this in their news releases, their guidance for the Key Lake mill. By 2024, they're looking to be at 80% capacity with no guidance beyond that. Now, what are they going to hit 100% capacity? Okay, that's definitely doable. It's MacArthur River, Key Lake. It's a fantastic operation. But if they don't hit that 100% capacity, then there's room for capacity, and that's what we hope where a scenario like Accio could fit in, is if there's room in a mill, there's capacity in a mill. Obviously, you want to operate at full capacity, so we could offer to fill that capacity. At least I hope. So that is the big idea. You
have in the past referenced what was the there was a
so anyway, the window's here now. we got to move on this. We got to move on it. So
you've referenced a deposit which was sub 30 million pounds at 0.3%, which stimulated a mill purchase or a mill construction. Rabbit Lake. Thank you. So presumably, if you're looking to provide feed for another mill, you don't necessarily need to hit the full £30 million target. But is your plan in this drill program to try and kind of solidify the boundary of mineralization, kind of trying to define an envelope of mineralization in this summer that could be then advanced up the development curve?
Yes, we would like to understand mineralization to a higher definition, to a, what would you call it? A higher resolution, so that we can make a more inferred, make a more geologically sound, model of what the mineralization would look like, so that we would have more reasonable confidence in anything moving forward. So we'd like to get to that 25 meter spacing with drilling this summer. But that was this kind of goes back to the Augustine too. Is we went out and we drilled, by the end of 80 drill holes, we've come up with 3 different structural models we're very happy with as the results and how they've grown. It's been an interesting deposit, no doubt. But now that we've got a firmer feel of everything, we have taken that time and we've gone back and we've looked at mineralization and said, okay, well, where can we grow this thing? Because we drilled on 50 meter drill hole spacing. We wanted to keep, it was a shotgun approach, but now that we know where the higher grades are, we can go back in and start exploring on those and expanding on those. So there's still a lot of potential. And look at 92E's results from GMZ just recently, a week or two ago. Fantastic results. I see. Unfortunately, the market didn't give them the attention that deserves, though. Basically 10% over half a meter. That is a big intercept. That's high grade. 10% is extremely rich uranium. And that's what makes the Athabasca so attractive, is when you find things like that, you can grow these things. You can grow these deposits very quickly. And that drill hole is right on the project boundary. Between that and our westernmost mineralization, we've got 100 meters of strike length that have not been drilled in that area. So there's a lot of potential for high grade to continuously occur on what we see as a high grade trend. If you start developing that, if you start growing that a high grade zone out, you build tonnage so fast. What's MacArthur River Pod 2? 40 meters by 60 meters by 80 meters. Those are tiny dimensions. 20%, 25%. That's 250 million pounds.
Obviously, you were talking about wanting to get greater resolution and go down to 25 meter spacing. Now, in the mineral resource world, what that of course means is that the ultimate destination for understanding mineralization better is a resource estimate.
Yes.
That is where you want to get to.
That drill hole spacing will get us to an indicated resource. If we needed to go to a higher definition, Rabbit Lake, they drilled off at 12.5 meter spacing, but I don't think that was the entire deposit. It might have just been the high grade cores they had, cores. So once you define the high grade, that's the big no brainer for any Athabasca deposit.
You're effectively targeting a resource estimate this year. I mean,
that's the goal. That's the goal. And as we just discussed, where Rabbit Lake built the mill with 30 million pounds, if you don't need to build the mill, your costs are vastly reduced. What would a mill be? Probably especially in the Rabbit Lake scenario, 2 times the cost, double the cost. So yeah, if you don't need to build a mill, do you need 10 million pounds? Do you need 15 million pounds, 20 million pounds? Are those good numbers? Yes. If you don't need to build a mill, and especially the design of Accio too, and I'll incorporate GMZ as well, is that at Accio we've got that near surface mineralization. You scrape off the overburden, boom, you're done. You can have a small starter open pit, very small. It doesn't have to be big.
We want 25 meters depth.
25 meters depth, earth moving exercises, no blasting, no nothing. You scrape off all the overburden. You've got mineralization right there. You dig your pit, small open pit. And then when you look at the orientation of Accio and GMZ together. They're kind of a system that, can't see myself there. Yeah, they're kind of a system like this. You could underground mine that you can design an operation that after 25 meters, all you're doing is just mining ore the entire way.
Develop in ore.
And it's all horizontal. Whereas when you get these vertical systems, you got to put a shaft down. Like DASA, Global Atomics DASA, reading their releases, they have to develop a drift down to 350 meters. Then they can start mining. It should be ready by the end of this year.
It's not quite as... Yeah.
Accio GMZ together, once you remove 25 meters, you are mining mineralization, open pit, potentially underground, and just go do horizontally entire way, so that everything you remove is mineralized and should be considered ore. It's such a unique scenario that it just looks like a really good and efficient operation.
Saskatchewan permitting timelines and Indigenous changing nature of the communication and the way that the Indigenous communities are looking to recalibrate that relationship with mining companies. Does that not add years to any development timeline?
Yeah, of course. And I'm happy that it does. You don't want to rush these things, for sure. So, but that's we understand the timelines. We've met with all of the, not physically met, but at least have been in contact with all of the regulatory bodies that we think we need. We've got all the documentation that we need to move forward with and start planning. Environmental assessment, baseline studies, 2 years at least. Overburden geotechnical studies, water studies, what are those, 2 years? Consultation. We've been consulting since before we even set foot on the project. So consultation's always going on. At some point, it would probably get into an IBA. But
IBA?
Yeah. Impact Benefit Agreement. Yeah, so the consultation's always ongoing.
Good. Now, in terms of starting the drill program, where are you in the planning process? Where are you in terms of kind of camp and rigs and people?
Camp, we left at site. We left it over the winter. There are a few things that we need to remediate. Like field crew just arrived at site yesterday, I believe. So this, I guess, is this is the start of the exploration season. Half of drill crew's gone up to go build some pads, get the drill pads ready to go. Well, we figure within a week, by hopefully by the first week of June, we can have the drill spinning.
Heli supported.
Yes. Yeah. Helicopter supported.
And is there still? Are you drilling on wet ground? Are you still kind of thankful for a bit of frozen ground, or
it's all gone.
All gone. Okay, good. And one rig.
Going to simplify a lot of things. Well, and that again, going back to why we stopped in August, not just the markets were terrible, but we wanted to take that time to leverage the drill hole density that we had to start to investigate how we can better drill these things off. So now that we've got what we think is a very confident model in place, we've got drill holes that are planned to go through mineralization, multiple zones of mineralization. So we use that time wisely. And one rig can do a lot of good. So we don't need to go crazy with 2 rigs. We'll assess though as we go. If we feel that we're not going to meet objective 1 with 1 rig, and objective 1 is the definition and delineation drilling on Accio, which is about 7,500 meters done drilling in 40 drill holes, I do believe, 42, something like that, then that's priority 1. If we need a second drill to complete objective 2s and 3, which are more of the exploration drilling on Accio, then we bring in a second rig.
So objectives 2 and 3 is kind of step outs, other targets, and that's 2,500 meters.
We've had some conceptual targets. 2,000 meters of that is within Accio, within a kilometer of Accio. It's the whole structural system there. This basin, really. It's a negative flower structure, subduction basin, where everything's kind of slumping together, and you can see it in the magnetics. There are just multiple slumps along this feature. So you've got plenty of structural corridors all along this thing. And one of these we know is the structure that controls where the basement's wedged up with the sandstone. And we've never investigated that with all of our drilling. So you've got the structure here, right? Sandstone on this side, and then the sandstone kind of comes up like that, where you've got a depositional contact. And then boom, you hit structure and basement rocks go foop. That's the Athabasca model. MacArthur River, Pod 2, it's right on that type of structure. So all your depositional sandstones like that. And basically all of our drilling last year, we were hitting it like this, never hitting this structure. We hit it on 1 or 2 drill holes, but we've defined this one area to the southeast of everything where we have no drill hole information, but everything on the periphery of that is showing anomalous to the background sandstone geochemistry and everything else. Even quartz irradiation studies show that there's more elevated irradiation damage along the quartz grains following these periphery anomalies. So everything's lighting up in this one area, and we're going to go in and we're going to go test that structure and see if there's any mineralization potential on there. Because again, all it takes is high grade. 25%, 40 meters, 60 meters, 80 meters, boom. You have a small little pod there. There's 250 million pounds. Whoop, yank it out of the ground. And typically the unconformity deposits are higher grades, just what they are. Yeah, I guess that whole redox potential is just stronger, obviously, because of the unconformity and the structures that are developed there. And a part of that whole sandstone anomaly is arsenic. Nobody likes arsenic, but from an exploration potential, and you're looking for unconformity deposits, arsenic is actually a good thing.
And you've got that mapped, contoured geochemically.
Yeah. That whole area of the sandstone just lights up. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that one pans out, and we've got at least something there. And then we've got 500 meters reserved for a wildcat drill hole. Well, drill holes in a wildcat target. There we go. It's better. We think that one has a lot of geophysical and geological similarities to the Raven Horseshoe deposits, which are 30 million pounds, 0.15%. But if you had something like that a little bit shallower or even higher grade, you'd have yourself a nice deposit. So we're going to go drill that wildcat target, because the other beautiful thing about that is the geophysical anomalisms in that area are all pearls on a string. And they kind of indicate that if we're successful in the first area, then pearls 2 and 3 should, theoretically yield more fruit as well. So yeah, Hook's exciting. This summer's going to be exciting. I'm stoked. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really excited to see this drill program go off.
So just by way of conclusion, map out there what your expected news flow is going to be through the course of the year.
Drill. Results.
Okay, there we go.
10,000 meters. That 10,000 meters, one drill hole should take us to October to complete. At the rate, let's say we get assays back and do our own reviews and do our write-ups, that's an added 2 months, October, November, December. We've still got news coming out into December of next year. Once we have all of the geochemistry back, then we can start doing our resource estimate too.
December of this year, I hope.
That's what we're hoping to.
And then the resource probably sometime early next year.
Yes, but to start it by the end of this year, and then the big push would be a Q1 2024.
Bring it on. Good luck. Get out there, drill.
Yeah, thanks.
Drill.
Well, we're cashed up to do it, so let's do it. Absolutely.
Good. Thanks a lot.
Summer's looking hot, though. Yeah. Summer's looking really hot.
Good. Well, look forward to seeing the results and hearing from you later in the year.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Merlin.